Okay, it's 6:30. We will call the Washington City Commission Monday, June 24, 2019 City Commission meeting to order. Okay, first is to approve the June 10th minutes, if we have a chance to review those.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Any discussion on the minutes? Colin?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
No?
Aye.
Yes. You're late. Okay, new residential construction tax exemption for Jason and Jack Lindahl. So they built a new house. What they're asking for is, I think, $150,000 for 2 years, which is what Century Code allows. Everybody have a chance to look over the application? I'll make a motion to approve the tax exempt resolution. $150,000 for 2 years. I believe that's 20 and 21, I think. I don't think it's this year. I think it's for 20 and 21.
I'm not sure, we haven't been through the process because.
We looked up some stuff here, so, says it's, yeah, I think that's what we looked
You're
up.
following it.
Right, you're following, right, right, yes. That's my motion.
I will second that.
Any further discussion on that? Colin?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
No?
Aye.
Yes. Okay. Okay, sales and use tax for Main Avenue Street Repair Project. Sales and use tax met today at 5:30, and they voted to approve the Weiss bid plus the engineering cost of $238,805.50 from the Community Development Streets Fund. So I'll make a motion that that's what we do. You made a motion.
You made a motion. What was the motion?
To take $238,805.50 from the Community Development Streets Fund,
Okay.
Sales and use tax for the street repair down here in Maine.
We'll second that.
Okay. Any other discussion on that? Colin?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
No?
Okay.
Yes. Okay, we're gonna bypass the budget one for right now. We'll do the A2S update.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I got your update sheet there, and I want to point out right away I got some paperwork, not paperwork, but just a lot of paper sitting over there. It's 2 complete sets of plans and specs in a paper form for the intake project, and it's in those 2 little boxes. They each have a jump drive with the same stuff, the plans and specs for the intake project. So I'll just go into intake improvement project update. So we did complete the plan specs, and we submitted them to the Department of Health, Department of Emergency Services, State Water Commission, and the Corps of Engineers. And all those are required for the project, whether they be permitted, related, or funding related. They need to have those. So we submitted those to them. We did receive responses, or questions, I should say, from FEMA through the Department of Emergency Services. They submitted them to us, and we responded to the questions that they had. They had a few things with, are you following through on your permits? Have you advertised, what those types of questions. I don't have a copy of the list of questions, but we did answer all of them and send them back to them. So they are in a review process still, and they just got the final plan specs here, so I don't have a date on when they haven't said that they're completed yet with it, but I will keep you informed when I find out anything new on that. I'll let you guys know, because I know we want to make sure that we have that funding for our project. The permits are still pending, Sovereign Lands and the 2 core permits. No update from them, but I do have a call and message into Ashley from the State Water Commission, Ashley Persinger, and Jason Rentschler from the Corps. We have started advertising. The advertisement went out on the 20th for the first time, and then we're gonna have it on June 27th, the 4th, and the 11th of July, with the bid opening scheduled per the advertisement for bids for July 18th will be the bid opening. If that works for you all, we can adjust that as needed.
That would be
And
here?
That would be here, yes. Yep. And the ad for bid too, Cammie sent it out. I think she sent it to you for sure, right? So I know that Rainey has a copy of it. It's also in the very front ends of the specs. So if you want to see it, it's in there as well. But yeah, July 18th for the bid opening. And depending on what happens with FEMA and Department of Emergency Services, we can always send an adjustment to that date too, if we don't have a response or a decision from them on that funding, or a final guarantee, I should call it.
Hopefully we will.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I did push for an answer on that from Justin Messner today at DES, and he said that he would be talking to them today, and he would let me know as soon as he gets any updates on it. So more to follow on that. Something that I don't have on the update sheet that I do want to cover, and I know Rainey already knows about it, is the State Water Commission's end of biennium deadline for reimbursements is on July 12th. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a special billing for everything from us up through the end of June 30th. So the week of next week, next week is going to be the 1st of July. So we'll hopefully have that early that week. We'll get you the billing for that, and then that's all we really need to do is generate the invoice, and then we can get all of our stuff together for a reimbursement request for the State Water Commission for that grant funding that we have. And did you have anything that you wanted to send to us?
Yeah, there's Terracon, I think there's 1 or 2 invoices of that.
Okay.
That you didn't get, so.
Okay, I know probably the 2017 study, they sent the reimbursement for that, but if we don't have it for the other ones, then we'll definitely want to get those in there, so. Send them to me or Cammie or whatever, we'll make sure that we get it in there. And I think we'll send it to you to review before we send it up to the State Water Commission as well, just to make sure that we're getting everything through the end of the biennium. Because they're, I guess, pretty strict on that, you know, when it gets to the end of the biennium, they want all of everything that happened in that biennium, they want to be paid out by July 12th,
Sure.
So we'll make sure we get that. That is everything I had for the intake project. Was there any questions on the intake project? Okay. Main Avenue, so I talked to Ryan Holland from Weiss & Sons today. He's the PM, the project manager. He said that the contract documents were in the mail today, back to us, for the Main Avenue improvements. So I will bring them to the next commission meeting for you guys to sign those. And then we'll have a contract with them and send those back out. He was interested in meeting on site sometime in July, mid to end July, at least before, maybe a week before they start. And they are still looking at starting the construction by the end of July, is what his schedule
nice.
is.
Okay.
So,
And we did get funding for it today, so.
great, that's great to hear that.
Do we need a motion, like we talked last time, for that?
For,
We put out the bids and we got the contract, and we were talking about a motion to pay it, or have the funding available.
well, we approved the contract, right? And then,
You guys approved, I think the motion that you made last month was to accept
Bid.
their bid
Right.
and to send the notice of award to them. So, like in 2 weeks, when you have a meeting, when I bring the contracts and you guys, before you sign them, you could have a motion to accept their contract
then I think
if you
that's
want.
what
Okay,
we'll do, when we
because-
actually have the contract.
Yeah.
Okay, because we were talking about making
Right.
sure we had the funding first.
Correct, yeah.
Okay,
And you just got that today.
today,
Ted,
so that's,
And on the funding note, I'm still trying to get an answer from Brian Fuchs and Pam Wenger. They're the two for the Special Road Funds grant. And I read through the grant information, and the letter they sent out was they need the applications by September 30th for projects that are gonna happen in 2020 and 2021. So my question to them was, if we have a project that's already bid, you know, it's gonna be under construction in 2019, is it possible for us to get funds for reimbursement for a city like Washburn in this type of project? So I've worked with Pam before. I'm hoping that, I mean, she'll give me a straight answer right away as soon as she gets back to me, but I'm hoping that is something we can do, because that could be funding we could get to help reimburse the city for the cost for the Main Avenue project.
Yeah, if we
Okay.
get that, then we would put some money back in the sales and use
Yeah.
tax fund, so, yeah.
So we'll try real hard to get that if we can, but I'll keep you updated as I get more on it. The future streets projects, I know you were interested in that, Mike, as well. We do have the estimates completed for them that we talked about last time, and I'm working on the maps. I still got to update the maps to reflect everything that's on the estimates. But if that's something, I don't know if that's what you guys want to bring it up or put it on the schedule or the agenda for next month, or when you want to start talking those, but
Well, I think we'd like to review it a little bit, and
Okay.
then, you know, just kind of figure out, at least look it over, and then, you know, we can put it on the agenda to at least get it out to people and say,
Yeah.
hey, if we're gonna do a project, this is what we think it's gonna cost you.
what I'll do is I'll get the maps updated, and I will attach the estimates to them too, and I'll get them sent to you, Rainey, and then we can get them out to you guys.
Yeah.
And whenever you want to put it on the agenda, we can talk about it some more, so.
Does it need to put that in the budget if we're going to do it, or no? For the engineering cost and all that stuff.
Well, I think there was something in the budget on that, wasn't there?
Right.
Yeah, right.
But, you know.
I mean, eventually that would get special assessed, but yeah.
Right.
And then the only other thing that I had was the water treatment plant ceiling paint. I regret to say that I don't have any updates on that, but I will continue to push Jasper on, because his contact is, Mike Sikorsky is our contact at KG. Jasper has him, so I will try to get on that again for you guys. I apologize. I wish I had more information, but I don't.
Wasn't it last time you said they thought they'd be up by the end of the month here, or?
End of the month, yeah.
Well, it's not the end of the
That's what they told, yeah. That's what he said. He also said
Or is it the end of the month?
he also said a carpenter, you
Yeah,
know, for
yeah.
ceiling paint, which I thought was,
It's been going on for how long now?
since the intake of the sewer plant project,
Yeah, 2000, we've.
2009, I think, 2008.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, no, this has to be resolved by the end of July. This has got to be done. I don't care if
It does.
Mike has to come out there himself,
Yep,
or if you want me to call Mike, this has got to be taken care of. It's gone on too damn long.
it really has.
It has,
I
so,
agree.
yeah.
I mean,
So,
it's
yeah, we'll get an answer to you guys. If I can find something out tomorrow, I will give you guys a call and let you know what I find out, but it's frustrating for me too. That's all I have, unless you guys had any questions. Please let me know if you have a chance to look at the final specs. I know there's a lot of stuff there. I think you guys have seen the plans when we had a review meeting, the 9% at least,
Yep.
so you should be familiar with it a little bit at least, but if you have any questions on that stuff, please let me know.
Any other questions?
Okay, thanks.
Let's, portfolios for today. Colin, do you have anything?
river's up. That's about all I got. Should be safe from running out of water for a while.
Yep.
Now, if the sandbar comes and
Yeah.
plugs up our projected place to put the intake. On the Memorial Hall, I believe I have it set up to have the uprates fixed on the air conditioner, so that should be taken care of. The Legion's going to pay for it. Since they put it in and they felt bad about it, so I believe that's what they're going to do. I have Colin to Randy at Great Plains Rehabilitation for elevator, and he's been out on a project, so he hasn't come back with a number, because I'd like to put that number in the budget. The Legion was talking about doing a percentage, roughly 50%. But I would like to go with, you know, the doors, make them handicap accessible, the sidewalk in front of the west doors, to bring that up, so that's where the elevator would be at. So we're working on that, and hopefully I can get those numbers so we put it in the budget. They are working on putting the gas lines in. I think they ordered parts for that, and the labeling of the electrical. So hopefully we'll have the kitchen done here pretty soon, I believe, right?
We're still working on the venting, but,
Right, but that is up in the back. We went
right.
with the vent out the back of the building
Okay.
for a better access. So that was all put in.
Well, that, plus we don't want to cut a hole in our roof either. so.
Right, but I mean, it was going to be on the east side, but we went to the back side.
Oh, yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
it would have fit on the other side.
Right, that's why we did that.
Right.
Then I believe Brian and Rainey told me the hot water heater's not working here in the city hall, right? And Levy's came in and they were working on the Memorial Hall, so they looked at it, so they're gonna give us an estimate on the heater and booster pump, the way I understand. I don't know why we have a booster pump, but
Well, I think we should check with the hardware store on water heater too, so.
we can do that, because it's like a 40-gallon deal and a booster pump,
So
so
leaking or just not heating?
not heating, right?
Just probably an elementary thermostat.
It's got white corrosion all the way up. I don't know what that means.
And it leaks.
Then it leaks if it's on white on the outside. So we might have to do some pipes and
I got
stuff
some
like that.
piping and stuff, but.
But I'm not sure why the transfer pump.
Well, I think that goes out to the shop, doesn't it? Otherwise it takes forever to get hot water out there.
Okay, so it's a recirculation
I
pump
believe
for
that's what it
the,
is. I believe that's what it is.
okay.
Is that it?
I believe that's it for my portfolio.
Okay. Well,
Randy and I attended a training last week in Bismarck on HR. We do have to update our manuals. It was a really good training. They'll have a 2-day conference coming up next year that hopefully Randy can attend that one as well. It was really, really good information. That's it.
the only thing I have is, the, Offset Dog, court case is on Friday. See how it turns out, so, that's the only thing I have. Rainey?
I have 2 more invoices here from AE2S. So these were not included with your previous motion about using storage funds, so I just need to know, this is for the street, this one is for the intake. So just need to know what you want to do.
So when you say the street, that's here? Oh, that's gonna come
So
from,
do you want it,
but that Main Street one would be 1 cent, or 1 cent
okay,
sales tax, right?
so what is the total on that one? So is that included in that 15 then, or the 14.5?
Is it talk about bidding services? Then yes.
Construction
14.5 was the max
services,
we had. That was construction, bidding,
Everything.
That
Okay.
should all be in
So
there,
it should all
right?
be in that one,
So that
okay.
should come out of,
That should be in with that one, okay.
That'll be under the 1 cent sales, correct?
And then what, the other one is the intake.
yep, engineering,
That would be the project.
final design, redesign,
Phase 041.
huh?
Phase 041.
Yep,
I bet.
yep.
Yeah, yeah.
So is that's new billing then on this, or is that?
What's the date on it? It would be
The last one I just got.
beginning of June, probably?
June 11th is when it's
11th,
dated.
Yep, that's May's billing, probably, is what it sounds like. We'll submit that on the State Water Commission reimbursement.
So that would go under the, surge money for our share then.
Okay.
That's what we've been paying them out of.
So you want it, because your last motion was to pay with surge monies up to that point. So
Okay.
you're wanting, so that's my question, are you wanting to use surge funds for this as well?
I would say we do. So do we need a motion on that?
Probably should. Because it, you specifically in that last motion said up to that point.
Okay.
So,
So we need a motion to take that out of the surge fund.
Need one? I will make a motion to pay this invoice out of the surge fund,
How much is it?
$69,000.
I'll second that.
I think Eric spilled my new house.
Any other discussion on that? Colin?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
No? Yes.
And Renee, there'll be the one for the end of the biennium,
okay.
and then that'll be, if you wanna do that one, funding too. And then we'll get that one and all our previous ones, and the next one that's in the biennium, we'll submit that with the end of the, or with the next reimbursement, from State Water Commission.
So do you want them to motion to pay that one as well? Because that will be coming before the next meeting? Just thinking the timeline.
Yeah, they could,
Yeah.
because the billing, Jenny will close the billing on June 30th, and then however long it takes her to go through all the accounting for that, then she'll submit it. Hopefully, I wanted her to get it to you guys before the 4th of July, so, yeah, that would be, but really, as long as you could do it at the next meeting, because July 8th is the next meeting,
Yep.
and then, we'll have that week to do the reimbursement. As long as the State Water Commission receives the reimbursement request before the July 12th, which is that Friday,
Yeah.
then we'll be good.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I mean, it's up to you guys, though. You can do it now, or you can do it that meeting.
Do you really think we should wait until we see the bill?
Yeah.
I would.
Okay.
Okay. Jackie and I have been working on the, public sale, so we're trying to come up with a timeline. We didn't really get to that today. So we've put together a form, and then pictures of the different items,
Okay.
so that people can know what they're bidding on. We withdrew one of the monitors because, Adam thought that he would want that down at the water treatment plant, so we withheld that one. And
Okay.
then the chairs were just not even in good condition to sell, so we took that off the list as well from the
Which
last.
chairs are those again?
The chair from the water treatment plant, there
Oh.
was a black chair with some wet mesh, and it was all ripped, and the
Yeah.
back didn't even stay up, so we
Yeah.
just took that one off.
Sure. Okay.
So we're still working on that.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys wanna see that so far. And I got this today in the mail. The North Dakota Environmental Quality has sent a contract for continuation of chemical analysis with the chemistry laboratory. So they do our chemistry testing. So they sent this today. Is something you want to continue?
Yes. I'm sure it is. I mean, we've been using them forever.
You want to see it?
Sure.
And then just to let you know that I think I told you this last time, I put in an ad for the Washburn Airport Authority is looking for a person to fill an open seat. That person's agreed to stay until we find a replacement. And then I also added the Special Assessment Committee open position in the ad as well. So that ad will run the 20th and the 27th, so hopefully we'll have some interested applicants for that
Okay.
next meeting.
All right.
And airport and which one?
Airport and the Special Assessment Committee. That's all I have.
Colin, do you want a motion on that one since it falls under water?
Which one? This? I gotta read it. Do you want to read it?
Over first,
I gotta see what it is
the
first.
FFT testing. going up 12.5%.
Contract, I don't see dollar amounts.
You wanna research it till next meeting?
Yeah, we don't have any pricing in here, so.
Oh, okay, okay. Let's table that.
Yeah, table this and.
Okay.
Rainey, on this, did you come up with a price on that flooring? We talked about 50%?
Yeah, I haven't looked it up yet.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we put it on here or we know that it's on here,
right.
that there's a
We're
minimum.
still working on
Okay.
coming up with a date and advertising, and we were trying to come up with our form and
Okay.
putting that together.
Do you have any,
Yep.
Brian?
Thursday, you know, and Thursday or sometime this week.
Okay.
Well, that's pretty much it. We end up having, problems with cottonwood trees, to see a lumber disease, and we're dying, and there's some big ones, and some are gonna be on our end of it.
Lord. Okay. I'll have to get, the tree board out there. Make their decision on what they wanna do.
I don't know what it is, I don't know if it's a bug or if it's a disease or what it is, but there's some really big ones dying now. Other than that, good.
Jackie, you have any?
Brian, what do we can do anything for as far as graveling some of the roads around? Do we
We
move
were
roads
gonna wait
around?
for the gravel from this project to see what they had to bring it in, you know, the price on it, availability. There is some good gravel, Chris said, though, still left, I think, out east, and it's a fairly short run, so,
We get a price from him on that?
can,
Yeah, let's get a price on,
do you want just a regular, the 5, or you want something that's got that crushed in it? Chris swears by the crushed, you know, I don't know if it's worth the extra money or not.
Something that's gonna bind good?
Well, the rock will be a lot better that way, yeah.
we'll get a price on both, you know, and then,
All right.
you know, and what it would cost to haul, and then maybe we would even haul with him or something with our truck, maybe. I mean, you know, let's get a price on it, so. And that's from where? We should probably ask, Montney too, if what his prices are.
I'm not sure which pit it's out of, it's out east, that's all I know. I thought it was the Ewine pit, but I don't think that's where they were talking about, so.
Can we ask the Montney too, what he's got, and
yeah,
prices,
yeah.
when to give him to?
How much do you think we, maybe so much, we could use a lot.
I know. Well, it depends on the price, I guess.
Right, and then the other thing too is like the elevator road down there, that whole distance, do we want to gravel that one too? It's not really, it's not used that much, it's not really even our property or whatever, but.
Well, it's not our
In
property.
between?
What?
I mean, in between the two streets?
Yeah, it's not even
Going
our
run
street.
east and west in there?
Not even our street.
No.
No, we don't want
It's
to do
their
that.
property.
Okay.
No, yeah. Yeah, just get some prices, and we'll
Okay.
hopefully get it by, for next meeting. We'll look it over.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay. Budget. Amy sent out, or had delivered the budget, everybody had a chance to review. The thing about the budget is we wanna maybe start high, because we can always take some away, but you can't add after a certain point. Isn't that right, Amy?
Yes, yeah.
So it looks like mills are gonna be roughly the same as they were last year, or this year, I should say. Kind of the way it sounds, like very, very close. If you look at, I don't know if this has been explained, but if you look at, you know, the notes on here, it's like, you know, way up on the top, this is page, would be the first one that has the general revenue on it. Yeah, I think that's the one. But anyway, right up on the upper right, it says, you know, $689,041, current balance as of 6/30/18. Okay, that's not an updated balance. That's from a year ago. So just so you realize that that's, a lot of these are not updated balances in there, just so you realize that. I don't know if she explained that to you guys. So, I don't know if we wanna just kinda go line by line on here, I guess, maybe. Randy, do you think that's maybe the way to go, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to get through, we've got a lot to go through in just a short amount of time. But just so that you can kind of understand that there's the history off to the left, 17, 18, 19. Hopefully, once I balance the bank statement, at your next meeting, I'll have this next year-to-date as of 6/30 completed, so that you can see. So the 2020 budget column, I worked off of the previous columns without really knowing where we're at so far this year. So I just looked at past history and completed the ones I felt comfortable kind of completing something in, but feel free to change anything you want changed. Some of them I just left blank because I had no idea. So don't really look at the totals because there's spots missing, or, you know, those are gonna change. But just kind of keep in mind that, I mean, feel free to change them however you think. I just plugged something in that I thought was reasonable. And the notes off to the right I left as far as if it still was pertinent, I left those notes. So feel free to have me add or change or whatever as you.
This is due, when?
This is due August, let's see the calendar there. Is it 7th?
I think it was 7th for some reason.
I wanna say it's right after, I wanna say it's right after our first meeting, like a couple days later.
Oh, actually, it's August 10th.
Okay.
August 10th, there you go, yeah, right. So,
I think going through as much as we can is a good idea, but it's
Right.
totally up to you.
Well, I'm looking at this, I mean, ideally, I would like to have, as of 2019, to see what our expenditures have been up to this point. Without knowing what we've spent up to this point, it's hard for me to put a budget
well,
number in there.
but that's kind of what you get with these financial reports, is how much was budgeted and what percentage has been, you know, percentage to date, you know, on these expenditures. You got,
Am I missing it, or, but I don't see it in there?
No,
well,
it's not in there.
it's these
the
column that
ones-
you get every month.
It's the ones that you
Oh.
get every month.
You know, that's, I mean, you know, that's where it is.
Right, but to be able to put it in here, I guess, what I was looking at.
Right.
Right, and I won't have that until after I balance the bank statements, which will be that very first couple days in July. So you have just a couple meetings, and then it has to be sent in.
And it might end up, we just have a special meeting just because we need to go through this, which, I mean, it's happened before, so.
But it would be nice to put some numbers in tonight, that way,
Right.
Rainey can.
Right.
So we have a better idea when those other numbers come in, you know, where we're at. A
Right.
kind of a wish list.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, this is just the initial thing, you know, so, yeah. Like the state aid and stuff, Rainey, you got new figures on those, correct?
Yeah.
Like the intergovernmental revenues, I think those were provided by League of Cities, weren't
So
they?
they just give you a guideline saying what they think it's going to be, same or more, you know, more or less, or whatever their estimates are. So I just put in, so like the state aid, projected to be about $82 per capita for 2020.
Mhm.
Highway distribution, slightly more than 2020 as compared to 2018. Fire insurance premium tax, 26% increase in appropriation for fire and tax insurance premium distribution to fire departments from 2017-18 to the 2019-2020 cycle. So this, I give you a general what they're thinking.
Yep.
So that's what I worked off of.
So we've got some stuff in there anyway, so. But I guess we start, with revenues, we got license and permits, like that on top. So, that experience letter license, that's probably gonna be about the same as last year, because, it's, we only have like 2 bucks in town now, so, before we used to have 3. So I guess we do have some liquor sales, too, like from the gas stations, yeah. I don't know, is that 45, 600, the right figure? I don't know. I think probably is. The thing is, in 2018, we took in 9,600. I don't know why we took in 9,600 in 2018. Where we only budgeted like 65.
I want to say that's in Captain's Cabin, switched hands, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but we really shouldn't have taken any more. We shouldn't have. Because I think Bickert switched hands then too, and what it is they sold their license to them. It's not like we got like $100 for the transfer. So I'm not sure why that is. But the less bars, I'm thinking that's probably pretty close. 4,600 is probably fairly close. As far as the other ones, franchise fee, stuff like that, I'm guessing pretty much stays the same. Chance, building permits.
Came with chance, we approved like the gas station, so that might be a little bit higher because they're doing more of the electronic stuff. So that might be up a little bit more than what we had before. And now that the Legion has taken over the cabin, there might be some more there.
So yeah, we could raise that up. Any idea? It's got it at $80, so.
It's one of those, with the gun raffles and stuff like that, I would think that I'd like to hit, 500 or so, or 1,000.
What did they pay for?
So this is
permit?
like the permits, like the school come and get, they pay $10.
Yeah.
This is like looking at the chance where they get a raffle permit.
Okay, so it isn't the gas stations for their permits for their, okay, I'm misunderstanding. Okay.
So they're $10 a piece.
Just make that $100, round it up to 100. A little bit higher.
Yeah.
Variance permits, we really don't have that many, Building permits, there really haven't been that many. We used to budget $5,000, but man, and then in 2019 it was $3,500, and I'm sure we never got that, did we? We could probably raise that up to, instead of $1,350.
So moving our building permit so far. Yeah, we had nothing so far up through May. So it's just not that season, so I suppose it could be higher.
The building permit, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, the cabin, can't they come and
No,
get?
but that's not till June.
That's not till June, okay.
These numbers that I have are your last,
Right.
financials that I gave you were through May.
Right, but we're just estimating though,
Right.
that might come in yet this year.
Let's take that up to 2,500, 13. Hopefully the people will build some stuff, It's just a budget,
Right.
this is just initial figures. Moving permits, yeah, I think 50 is probably fine. Then your intergovernmental revenue, I think it's got a really good handle on all those. miscellaneous revenue. So, that second one under that, Rainey, Fisher Spines and its miscellaneous revenues, do you know any idea what that involves?
I don't.
Okay. But, you know, looks
So-
like we've
so
been
I
getting
can-
some money on them, so,
Yeah, so, yeah.
say 20's probably good.
We got 5,000 last year for that?
That was the budget, yeah. I don't know why there was 5,000, because the year before we took in 2,100, or 21,000.
Yeah, so far we have 14.
We do?
Mhm.
So I think 20,000 would probably be,
Going for 14 for 6 months.
wanna go to 25 on that?
You better go with 30,000.
Yeah, we better be high than low.
I'll put 30 in there then. These will all probably be changed, so maybe not, okay? Interest. It's always budgeted 2,000, and it's always been a little bit less, so 1,500, I think that's probably good. Memorial building rent, you increased that, right, from 25?
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get a lot more rent out of it, but, I don't know.
We got 1440 so far from May.
1442, so, yeah, we're probably about right then. Okay, we got sale of fixed assets, which would be the stuff we're selling, that'd be fixed, or that wouldn't be considered as fixed assets because they're under a certain amount, or stuff we're selling.
We asking, oh,
I'm asking.
it'll, yeah, some of it won't be a fixed asset because it's just been supplies. You know,
Right.
some of those computer
Yeah.
things that we, filing stuff, that's just supplies, it's not a fixed asset. The pickup, the topper, maybe.
Well, the
The
tarps would,
tarps would be,
and we have a minimum of what,
I don't know.
4
I have
on
to look
that,
at it.
or?
I have to look, it's 50, you guys said 50% of what we paid for.
Right,
I
so it'd be
have
at least 4 on that, I'm guessing.
So we can plug that number in.
Put 4 in there, yeah.
to see if we sell it.
Okay, we'll go for that raise.
You don't think it will?
For 4?
Yeah,
You.
cost 8.
I bet you're lucky to get $1,000 out of them.
Okay, we'll see. Sale of lots. That's 2,500 this year.
How many lots do we have for sale?
I don't know, what, 3 or 4 up there?
Are these the Heritage Heights lots, that's what you're talking about?
Yeah,
There's at least 3,
at
4.
least 3. Somebody interested in some of them?
We've gotten questions from someone on 3 of them.
But most of them don't have water and sewer, right?
No. So anyway, they'd be 2,500 apiece, so put in 2,500 there maybe sell one, I don't know, or 2.
That's just to sell them without, building on them? Is that how that is?
It's just for the lot.
Just for the lot, but without, you know, before there was a motion that when they sold them, they had to build on them. I didn't know if you have that on there yet or not.
That was like many
Yep.
years ago.
That's,
Yeah,
I'm just asking.
This is different now,
Okay.
I think, so. Because usually when somebody buys, well, people have been buying like 2 lots up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. So we'll plug in 5,000 on that. You know, if people are interested in it, yeah, they'll probably buy 2.
Didn't sell any last year, right?
Didn't we?
Nope.
Well, when did we sell them? This year? I mean, 19?
Yeah.
When did
Is
Sheldon
there-
buy his?
17.
Yeah,
Oh,
but-
17, not long ago?
But there was that other one that was just built too, or just finishing up being built. That
They
was
bought
2
that from
lots.
somebody else though,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So you want
When did
5,000
Tyke
in
build?
there?
Is that long ago?
Oh, yeah. He actually is one of the
The latest ones, we've had like 2 or 3
Okay.
afterwards built, yeah.
So we'll put 20, maybe it's back down to 25. I don't know. Okay,
Do you want anything in there?
can always take it away
This is our
later.
revenue, right? So, what we don't wanna do is overstate on the revenue. Think we're gonna have more money to spend than what we actually do at the end of the year.
Well, I know, but we can always lower it. We can always change it down. You can never raise anything.
Okay, but this is the revenue
This
side.
is the revenue
Yeah,
side,
it's
not the
opposite.
expenditure
That's
side,
true,
so it's
yeah.
kinda the opposite.
Yeah, well,
So I don't wanna overstate.
no. We're gonna leave it 0?
Well, I'm just thinking with, you know, after getting feedback from residents on high taxes, high specials, I don't know what you're gonna sell a lot of lots.
No, maybe not, yeah. All right, leave it 0, that's fine.
So kinda going back to that fixed asset line, you still want 4,000 there because that sale will be in this year, won't be in 20.
Oh, you're right, well, yeah, you're right, so we'll empty that. You're right, that'll be this year. My
I
bad.
didn't think about that, no,
Yeah.
I didn't think about it either, so.
Okay, so. Okay, then it says advertising to be removed, miscellaneous revenue. And there's one, forestry grant funding goes here, 0. Okay. Anything else on the revenues? We left the mills out right now. You know, if we keep it at 45, it's 210. I'm really thinking we're gonna end up raising those. You know, but, I guess we'll see. We still in revenues, or? Colin's looking deep in thought there.
Yeah, I'm just confusing myself.
But,
So this is all our revenues?
No, so this is general fund that you're looking at.
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, so these all start with the
Yeah.
100, so that's all general fund.
Okay. Okay, well, move on.
okay. So you got expenditures, board, governing board, that's probably pretty much gonna stay the same, I'm guessing. Wages, benefits, looks like you added quite a bit to some of these, which needs
So-
to be,
So I added for a full-time public works person in there, in those figures, and I added a 5% increase in the wages
okay,
line.
okay. And that, that also includes insurance then, in here too, right? Yeah, group insurance, okay.
So remember last time you had a hard time understanding, but remember their wages are split amongst multiple funds, so this
Yep.
are the percentages from their salaries that you see off to the right,
Right,
is the dollars that are in that particular
Yep.
general ledger.
yep. Which I think really confuses a lot of people, but they're split up so many different funds, yeah. So, okay, so you added another person and then 5% across the board, right?
Correct.
Okay, I think
So
that,
I put that full-time is split between, 25% into 201, which is a highway, and 75% into 602, which is water and
yeah, right. Okay.
Employee pension went down?
yeah, so If you're looking at prior years, you have to remember they had a two full-time office staff in that line.
At end of year 18. Spent 15, what I'm looking at. So if we spent 15.3, and if we add another employee,
But that person, okay, I'll look at that one,
I'm just seeing,
Yeah.
13.8, we're going down.
I'll just double check, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay, put a question mark by that one.
Yeah.
Good catch, Tom. And you got non-departmental and miscellaneous expenses.
So Mike, when you were asking about professional fees
Mhm.
today, that's at line 66, so if you wanna add something to there, that's where that should be.
I would like to have a number in there, so if we're trying to get our special assessments taken over because the county now has said that we are responsible for it, and they're not gonna do it, if we need help balancing everything out in a timely manner, we need some money in there if we have to hire somebody.
Okay. Is that where that would fit under then, Manny? Is that one, okay? So. Okay, so, yeah, we got,
Because you had trouble and had to hire Linda for that year, but I think we should have a fairly good number in
that
there.
was an 18, that's why it was so high.
Yep, yep.
And then we figured 37,000. You don't know where we're at on that one, do you?
Yeah, I
Amy?
can find it. So far, $6,609.75.
6,600. But yeah, I agree, we should probably have a little more in there. Yeah, do you have a figure?
Just to put a figure out,
Another 10
what,
grand on there? 17?
I was thinking 20, just in case that we wanna have that done in a timely manner. We can always cut it back out later.
Put 20 in there.
So a total of 27.
Oh, you want 27 or 20?
Yeah, let's go with 27. Because you had 96,000 last year, but that was,
Well, yeah, that was
but, you
a
know,
little different.
We had budgeted 37 last year.
right.
Budget 37, and so far we've used 6,600. So, it's just a budget, you know, so 27 we want in there?
Mm-hmm.
Looks to me, maybe it's good for you. Audit fees. I'm assuming we went over on our audit,
Yeah, we did.
but then that was a,
2 year,
well, yeah,
so it should even out.
yeah.
Because we won't have to do that this year.
We just have a
Right.
single year. You're just caught up now.
We're caught up now, okay.
So 17 should do it, or?
I would hope so.
I would hope so too.
Credit credit card fee, that's for what we get charged for.
Yeah, so you have credit card fees for RevTech, and you have credit card fees for the water salesman, but I think the water salesman one is under 601, let's see, credit card fees over there. So this is the RevTrack,
Oh, okay.
I wanna say.
You have cell phone, you've got $840. Wasn't the cell phone bill and the bills here, wasn't that like almost $95?
96.
So wouldn't we be closer to $1,200 in there? Dues and membership, $150, that's probably. We kinda got out of a lot of those, so. Can't believe we had 2,500 budgeted for that. Is $150 enough for dues and memberships? I think that's a little shy. Maybe. Or maybe not. Trying to think, ooh,
I'm gonna say, isn't it, for the club that's $150?
yeah. And they're gonna like do something different, kinda.
Last year, 275, probably bump it up to 500 just to cover it.
Okay? Professional development, I have no idea what that means.
Training?
Oh, just training, okay. That should be a good number, huh? Okay,
Yeah, because I do wanna go to the one this fall, if I can make that work,
absolutely.
so.
Well, I think the more you can go to, the better, so. yeah. Supplies, that should be plenty, 10 grand, I would think. Okay, you've got, upgrade city website for $600.
Well, this upgrade city website was at $2,000 for this year,
Yeah.
which we've not done anything, we've not had time, so.
Right.
So the six, I just put 600.
So you think that'd be good? That should be enough, you think, or?
Yeah, well, yes, because that office, gov office, we paid $550 this year
Oh, okay,
for that, so that's what that 600 is for,
Okay.
in that line.
yeah,
And then that software support is that next line,
yep,
so that's the Banyan and the NRG services.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's what those- that's
so
what
we'll
those
need
two
that
are.
in there, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Insurance reserve. Yeah, that, you said that was going up, insurance reserve, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So that professional fees one, that's, falls under something else, or?
Well, you have to remember that those second set of numbers mean certain departments.
I know. Problem is, I
don't-
don't know what they are.
I know, and I can't remember off the top of my head what that 4,900 is.
Yeah,
I don't have that with me.
okay. Well, I think we're probably pretty good on that. Buildings and grounds. So special assessments, that's for the city's property? Okay, that, must be, huh?
2017, it was 63,000. Well, why did that fluctuate so much? Any idea?
But 2018 is 135.
Right,
My
exactly.
only explanation would be that they paid it twice in 1 year. Like paid it
Okay.
in December and paid it in, that would be my only thought process, would be that they paid 2 years in one.
You know what, there was a 1 year where they, well, that billed twice, or here. Yeah, that must be what it is.
Okay.
Yep. Fire, tornado, that pretty much stays the same. Memorial building miscellaneous.
Okay, when we do the elevator, where do we put that in? Would that be in the miscellaneous if we do, like, the bathrooms to make it handicap accessible, the doors? Is that where we want to put that, a number in?
I think that would be under improvements or not miscellaneous, right? Wouldn't that be under,
It probably is that further down.
yeah,
The repair maintenance?
Repair maintenance line.
Okay.
yeah, somewhere down there, I believe. That's your electrical, that's your library, electrical. So libraries paying their own bills now, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now, on the telephone for the Memorial Hall, do we want to add a line for the internet for that? Or do we want to add that with the telephone line since it's West River?
That's already in our, we're already paying for it.
Right, for our budget there. Okay.
Okay, which one are you looking at, Mike?
I'm looking at the 97 telephone for Memorial Hall.
Yeah.
Since we put the internet in there, do we need to increase that?
Well, yeah, I already did, so if you look at, last budget was 612, and now I have 1176.
Okay, so that should be enough, okay.
So the other thing I'll tell you with the phones is I'm working on getting some quotes for, IP phone systems, so that might be, something I'll present to you in the future, but to get cheaper.
Oh.
Phone system, it's, phones through the internet,
Oh.
so
Okay.
I'll be surprised if I come back with something regarding that.
Yeah, see if telephone library should maybe paying that themselves.
Yeah, that should be
Mhm.
zero.
That should be zero. That's number 95, no, 96. Gas for Memorial Building is only $2,500. God, you think it'd be way higher than that? Repair maintenance service.
So those lines, 104 through 110, I just added some things in there, so you talked about when we did the roof. So I just added that line in there, that's that area C.
Okay,
That's what that 23 is. That was in that quote that he gave us. And that cameras, Memorial Hall Water Treatment Plant, I got a quote from, we put together a quote, and I want to say Great Plains,
okay.
for the Memorial Hall, so I just plugged in dollars there. Not sure if you want to keep that there, and then I didn't plug anything else in, because I just didn't know, but different things that you had talked about,
Sure.
I jotted in there, so if there's something you want to add or take out.
Because like, the elevator, and they were talking, and this if we would pay for it all ourselves, just a rough estimate, they were saying 28,000 just for the elevator, then to install it, so we're,
28,000 for an elevator, I think that's a bit steep. I mean, that depends on what you're putting in.
right,
You
but,
can give them a heck of a lot cheaper than that.
right, but it has to be compliant,
Well, I understand that.
you know, and that's why I'm waiting for the bid to come in there, so we need to put a number in
You
there,
should have a number in there,
right?
so we can.
Because if the Legion pays for half of it, then we're a lot cheaper than that. But if we go with the, like that, stair deal, that's no longer fixable, we have to be compliant with it. And that was $4,000 for a new one of those.
It's pointless to put another one of those.
Right,
in.
exactly, that's why I'm saying if
No
we
way.
do the elevator right, then we're done. If we go with a cheap one, well, we could be doing this in another 5 years.
Well, let's put in, Memorial Hall elevator then, probably get rid of the floor probably, put an elevator. So how much are we gonna put in there?
Well, if, maybe we should put ADH, handicapped accessible, that way we have some money for like the bathroom stalls if we have to do it, or electric doors for the front, so we can put a number in there to make it compliant.
Right.
So for right now,
But maybe we can't do everything all at once, you know what I'm saying? It's,
right,
You know, for
but
now,
the Legion's talking about doing it, but if we just have a number in here that we can back off on.
well, we need a number, yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking 25,000.
We'll put it in there. Yeah.
Then, Rainey, you were talking about, we kinda need new tile coming in for the city hall. You wanna put a number in that for this building or something, or,
So we had Wagon Wheel come out and measure. She brought samples, we kind of looked at it. We just talked to her. So she's putting together a quote for flooring. Told her to separate out this room so that you could choose if you wanted to do this room separately at a different time. But I told her to do the hallway like we talked about, the
Mhm.
bathrooms and the office. And so she's working on a quote for that.
so if we just wanna put a number in there. Cause it's the hallway and the office that are in need of upgrading.
Yeah.
I was thinking $2,000, I was hoping to be somewhere in that area.
You're gonna give
But-
us for $2,000.
No.
10,000.
Well-
You're gonna squat for that.
And the elevator, we were only talking 25? Come on now. Well, we can put 10 in there, you know, that's not a problem.
Let's put 5,000 in.
Okay.
Might not all get done at once, you can put 5,000 in. Might only do half next year and half the year after,
Right.
who knows?
We just, they need some leeway. when
Well,
stuff
we
comes-
just need, numbers for now. Okay, you have office furniture and equipment. You have 10 grand there. And we talked about getting chairs, we haven't got any yet. Probably leave it in there for now. Okay, so the GIS thing, is that something we're gonna pursue next year? Would really like the mic upgrade for this room. And we got some money this year, 1,000. I don't know if we'll have that done or not this year. You know, I think Rainey, you said you were getting some quotes or something.
Can, yeah.
So I guess we'll just leave that in there for now and see where it goes. Anything else on that page?
Do we need to change the fish cleaning one because it's getting done twice a month now?
Oh, it was, wasn't it?
I thought that just changed last meeting, we talked about it.
Don't they always clean that twice a month?
No,
when-
just depending on how much they've been, how fishing's been going. But as a rule, it's usually around twice.
So we should change that to 2,000? Or how much have we, well, the thing is, yeah, in 2018, we only spent $1,000.
But the year before,
It was 1,700. Let's put 1,500 there. Good? Mm. Advertising and promotion next. So planning and zoning publications, don't people pay, doesn't that come out of their fees, right?
Yeah, but you have a revenue line and a.
Oh, there's a revenue line, okay. Is that the same then, the revenue in,
I have to look at the rest to see where that's been deposited, but, yeah.
okay.
I'm guessing it's gonna be in miscellaneous.
Oh, sure, probably, okay, yeah, right, okay, very good, very good. So that's the new police contract.
I've not.
Or we don't have it yet.
I've not received it, so it's like in yellow.
Not anymore in mine. Okay, well, we'll leave that.
That's $7,500 on publishing. Printing.
Well, you got all the minutes and stuff like that, yeah, that's expensive.
It's
Yeah,
crazy
but I mean, how can it go from 1,500, 2,100, 25, all of a sudden triple? Up to 7,500. We budgeted 2,500 last year, now we're at 76.
You know, it seems to me, you don't know where we're at on that one. do you?
So that's,
Well, is that for projects or anything like that?
Oh, hang on.
When we,
18 was that year, you know, that we, 17 was only 21. And then 18, it was 75. What's that?
The project.
projects don't, we don't have to publish anything there, that don't come out of there, does it?
That would come out of different.
Okay.
oh, so far we have, expenditures of $1,834.58.
Hmm.
She'd be mad.
So far, 1,800, you said?
Yeah.
So we could take that down,
4,000.
yeah, 4,000.
You don't have to publish your minutes either, you can make a motion to not publish, so that's another way if you wanna save. But
Really?
That's up to you guys.
Since we already recorded and stuff, right?
Well, that might be something to check into, you know, look into that, I didn't know that. I thought that would have to be a vote by the people.
I wanna say it's the board who decide what to publish, but maybe not.
I would almost think that, you know, I don't know, maybe not,
We'll check on it.
yeah. I think people would be a little upset if they weren't in there, but,
You
just
do?
my thought. Huh?
Do you really think that many people get the paper?
Yes.
No.
I don't think so.
I think they probably, subscribe online. And get it online.
Hmm.
You may not even get a printed copy.
Well, and remember, we're putting the video, the minutes, and the agenda all on our website. So
Yeah,
all of
that's
that's
true.
all on our website.
But then, you know, that's great for the younger people, but the older people, they want the newspaper, you know, so. Okay, so you got professional fees, fire, okay, that's from the fire department. Park board, zero, they got their own stuff.
And I've gotten that fire department, I got it from him today.
Oh.
I've got the same 22,600.
Okay. Okay. The park board hasn't requested that 10 grand yet, have they? Huh? No, I wouldn't give it to them. They could get their own.
Police, that's what we pay for the yearly contract, right?
For which one?
The police,
That line 129 is asking what that is.
Oh,
but I don't know that that's the number. I just plugged one in. I don't have that yet.
Hoping it's not that high, but
I
you
think
never know.
we seriously need to look at the police contract that we get
Yes.
with the city and look at probably another option,
Like what?
getting our own officers or something, because we're not getting near what we're paying for. We're not getting near, yeah, nothing. We get a cop car to drive around once in a while.
Well, it definitely needs to be, you know, we've discussed it with them. Yeah.
And
talked
we
about
are,
it, you
we are
know,
discussing it.
And, discuss, forget to talk. Anyway, you know, and they go, oh, yeah, we'll do this, we'll do that, and it never happens, you know, so.
So I visited with the lady, Wishick, and asked her, they have their own 2 officers,
Yeah,
3 days on, 2 days off, they're on call, and I wanna say, she said, what did I tell you to call them, was it 70?
Something 70 or
I can't remember,
100
but I.
or something.
Yeah, but, so then I also reached out to Brad Renus, because when I was on the school board, we had talked about a resource officer, and I asked him, have you been researching that anymore? Are you interested in that anymore? Because maybe we could share somebody. You have,
Right.
during the school year, we have them in the summer to enforce the junk and
Right.
you know, all the other stuff when we
yeah,
could, you know, and so I haven't replied back to his email back. He said they've not pursued it anymore, but they might be interested. You know, I haven't visited back with him, so just a couple things that I've thrown out there and checked on, so I mean, if that's something you want me to pursue more, I can.
well, I don't think it hurts to get some figures, you know, the thing is, you know, you got cars, you got everything, insurance, you
Mhm.
got, I mean,
Right, but, I mean, for
I know.
$170,000 a year,
But if we can bring in, like you said, a resource person at the school where they're up at the school more often,
Yeah.
and then we get them after that, and they go back and forth.
Yeah, but you can't just have one person,
No, but I mean,
yeah.
you know,
You know, people have vacations, you know, people.
yeah, we'd probably need 2.
So if you had 70,000 apiece, you're at 140.
Yeah,
Without vehicles and all the equipment and all that stuff,
yeah,
so.
no, I mean, you gotta factor in everything, you know, okay, you gotta make an arrest, where do you house them at? You have to make arrangements up here, you got a lot to
you got,
factor in.
Yeah,
But-
absolutely.
It's something that I think needs to be addressed.
Well, yeah, I think it's not a bad idea to look into it, absolutely, you know. So we got highways and streets, okay, you got repair and maintenance, you know, the 25,000, that pretty much takes care of tar. How much was our tar this year, Brian, do you know? Or Irene, do you know?
No, that was in the meeting.
I know, it was just like, what, 2 meetings ago, and I don't
Yeah,
remember.
whatever, it's fine,
It was expensive it was like $2,000 freight and
yeah, well, tar's
I
not,
think like
yeah.
12,000?
something like that.
Pretty close, if that wasn't last, yeah, it was,
It was somewhere in that area.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, machinery and equipment, no, we have 0 there.
Okay, on this repair and maintenance, what about those streets that are breaking up if we don't do a project on that? Like up by the Cenex water tower where it's breaking up so bad? There's a few other potholes on Custer, but, you know, that's breaking up really bad here.
Well, yeah, and that's, you know, we
so-
have 13 in the budget for this year, we'll put 25 in for next year. We'll obviously have to do some patching, you know, if that's not gonna happen.
Right, do we need to put that in that repair deal? You know,
Does it go in there, or is there another spot? I think it just goes in there, right? Or is that, well, that could go into the highway distribution.
Right,
That's
it's
so-
under Fund 201, probably.
Yeah, that's probably be under 201. Which is,
repair maintenance SVC? I don't know what that is, service contract?
where are you looking at?
201, or not, line 12 on 201.
Service?
That could Maybe service contract for equipment or something, maybe.
And we got rental equipment, that's a loader, that's all that.
Right. But I'm not seeing where to plug that
It's
number.
operation and maintenance. There's 42, okay. Not sure where it would be. That's yeah, we might have to put a little more in there.
Right, just to get us by, we're not gonna do a street project.
Okay, that was under, yeah,
135, is that where we were at?
yes. So 25,
Because in 2018, we had 55,000 budget.
right, we spent 15,
Right.
so what do you want to?
Well, I'd like to have 55, just in case we have to patch those chunks in there, but you guys know or seen more of the patch, I don't know how much it costs to patch a section.
Not cheap.
And there's a really bad spot that Turk Fifth Hill Lane going out. That's really bad.
Going out.
Past the cemetery on Rough Rider Road.
That's the end, I think, that we were gonna let go.
Yeah, it was turned back to gravel.
Right, at some point, that's what
Yeah, we're not gonna patch that.
Well,
I mean, if
then
we
we
do a
should do it
street
because
project
it's-
up there, we can deal with it, but you know what, if it costs us 75 grand to patch that stupid spot, so. Yeah.
I was thinking, I
Put
think it was
40 in.
by Richards where that, garbage truck fell through, and it's really soft, and I think that would be really tough to go through the winter with that, as bad as that is, right?
No, it won't be that winter.
It's fine.
Spring with frost.
Well-
Then, this time we'll bury them.
So 40,000.
Okay.
That's why we're trying to get, cost figures on fixing these roads, so we can,
Right.
decide what we want to do. But you're right, we gotta have some money there.
Yeah, if they decide to vote it down, we need to be able to patch just a few spots.
We got machinery and equipment for 0.
Okay.
What do you need?
See, put city sidewalks in there,
Unibog,
That was
mod,
there from before.
was it?
or would I have to start
Well,
looking at
evidently
replacing
in
that?
the past 2 years, they must have been putting money in, but they haven't the last few years. That was there from before.
The sidewalk one,
Yeah.
that was from before. So forestry, last year we cut them down to 3,000 and then 3,000 for tree removal. And they spent a little bit this year or not? Almost nothing, right? They haven't done any tree cutting, I think, so,
Now, the forestry gets 2 mills. Why do we have a number in there then? On line number 141. They're not on their own, or we have to provide them
No.
2 mills?
we provide them with money. I think you can do 2 mills for forestry. I have that here. Oh, it's in here.
Because I was wondering why we can't do it like they did with the library, just switch that over to them. And then that's their budget.
Well, forestry used to have their own, but I don't know if they still do. They might have just put that in with the, general. Forestry used to be a separate mill levy for forestry, and I don't see it. so many of these have been repealed. I don't see one for forestry. I think that's what it used to be. Yeah, in 2015, you could have, there was 2 mills for forestry. But see, a lot of that stuff got all combined into the general.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't see it in here anymore, so. So, you know,
Well, maybe we should leave it. Turk did say there's a lot of stuff coming up, and we haven't asked Kit if he knows of anything that needs to be done for right now.
well, the tree removal, I think, is probably the big one.
Mm-hmm, and not the maintenance.
That's what I'm thinking, you know,
Could we
You know,
swap those two?
they got so carried away, you know, the past few years with the amount of money that they spent on their maintenance, you know. And then, it doesn't look like it on here, but it was really outrageously crazy. Because I brought that up last year, I think it was, or whenever it was, that, I think we need more for the, okay, well, we got 3,000 for tree removal this year. I don't know how many they're gonna cut down this year.
Could we just flop the 9 and the 3 back and forth? 3 for their maintenance, 9 for tree removal? Just to have numbers in there?
Well, let's do 3 for maintenance and
Yeah.
say, and then I don't know if I wanna go 9 for tree removal.
Okay,
Or 6 for tree removal.
let's 6 that.
6 for tree removal. How's that?
Yeah, because I think trees are, going to be more of them to remove if they're diseased.
Yeah. Well, who was I talking with? Was that you calling? I was talking with, you know, why aren't people cutting down their own trees, you know? Whatever. You know, we got these ones that I can't read. Something about a fire truck.
Yeah. Well, I just had a question, transfer, new fire truck savings, you know, that was something that we had cut out last year. We wanna put something back in this year.
You know, unfortunately, I think we're gonna have to leave that one 0 for now. Cause, you know, we keep adding money here and there's no way we're gonna have enough money to do all this stuff. You know?
I'm just looking here right after the forestry, we look at our 2019 budget, just that line was 676,000. And for 2020, we're up almost 100,000 more from the previous year.
Yeah,
So we're really going the wrong direction.
I know. These are just initial numbers. In our next meeting, believe me, we're gonna be cutting. I'm sure, you know. This is, I think the first one's called the wish list, right? And then you go from there. So, but yeah, we're gonna have to be cutting a lot of this stuff, so,
So the second one that you probably can't read says transfer out for airport special fund 705, that was zeros.
yeah,
The next after that is transfer out for library special fund 704, that's zeros.
yeah.
And then the next one is transfer out for debt services fund 500. So last year we had budgeted a little bit to cover what that special fund 204 couldn't cover.
What is that number in there? I can't read that number. 30. Oh, 32?
609.
Okay, so we're actually gonna be using that in there?
Well,
Or-
we'll have to wait to see where we end up and
Okay.
how everything looks, but.
Yeah, I'm really thinking that we're gonna end up, you know, going to, special assessment deficiency, levy, you know? We're probably gonna end up just putting a ton in there. Probably where we're gonna end up. Because we're not taking in as much as we're paying out.
where did that screw up come from?
Mhm. I don't know if it was a, accounting error, or if it was a bad advice error, where, you know, maybe the city should have put a different percentage on, you know, the bonding.
But how
I
can we
don't know.
correct it?
Well, we need to find out first. And
Right.
that's what Rainey's been working on, but believe me, it's a long, drawn-out process.
That's why I wanna put more money in there to get her help, so we can get it done, so we know where we're at,
Right, when
so,
that went, yeah, I know, I understand.
so
that.
we can add this, or get this cured.
Right. It's, the main thing that's gonna cure it is time. You know, 'cause it all has to, you have to go, what, back to 13, 12, who knows, you know?
So
And,
it started at 2012 is where it started,
okay,
looking at the project funds.
yeah, so,
So it's gonna depend upon how fast you want that to go, if you wanna hire somebody to focus truly on that and get it done faster, or if you're willing to be patient and,
well, that's something we need to decide what we wanna do on that, you know, so,
Because we're spending money on that deficiency fund that we won't get back. Unless, well, we're paying the interest and stuff like that, right? On the deficiency fund, we're paying that.
I don't know what we're paying on it. We're, put it this way, what we're taking in, we're paying out more, that's just, whether it's interest, whether it's,
Right, but if
Whatever,
we get
I
it
don't know.
straightened out, can we reassess that or redo that?
I doubt it.
you can redo your bond. I mean, you can, you know, just like you refinance your home, you can redo a bond, I would,
Right,
if
but I
that's,
mean,
if that's what you're asking.
reassess the property if it wasn't assessed right to begin with.
I would say no. I don't know for sure, but I would say no. And if you are, you're the one that's gonna tell them, I mean.
Oh, we'll just call it an auditor's problem and ask for the
Right.
bond for that, for the $2 million bond,
Yeah.
because it wasn't done right.
So if it was reassessed incorrectly, then you're gonna be eating that
Yeah,
for 20 years.
well, that's why you have the special assessment deficiency, is then everybody pays it. You know, and that's unlimited. You can, you know, it's,
But I
special
cut,
assessment and drain assessment on city property, okay, special assessment or expected deficiency on special assessment. Maximum rate or amount, none.
but that comes out of the general fund too.
No, that's separate. That's not general. That's,
Okay.
special assessment deficiency.
So if you look at that first, did I give you guys the first page? Look at that line 24. That's correct.
You know, and the thing is, it's never got caught until, you know, they come in, and, right, pretty much.
Well, we knew it last year when we did the budget.
Right,
We
right.
were 200 and some thousand, and we didn't know exactly why then either.
Yeah.
So we knew it at that point, so that's why we did
Right.
additional 10,000 just in that special assessment deficiency fund.
Well, and 10,000, that's only a couple mils, so, but if, you know, we're probably looking at, what, next year being $500,000 in the hole,
We already,
that's 100 mils.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just to catch up, that's not for the future.
So if you can't reassess anything, I mean, what's the point in trying to figure out where the hell the problem's at? Because you can't reassess anything.
Well, we need to know where the problem is, so we need to know, why, so we, first of all, don't make that mistake again, you know, and I don't know, you know, you gotta have an answer, you know. We're accountable for every bit of, every dollar, you know, you need to know where it is, and where it's going, right? I mean,
well, and that was in the audit, that's what they wanted. They want
Mhm.
those all broken out, those special assessments. We should know what your accounts receivable coming in is, you should know what that's supposed to be. We don't at this point, because that was given to the county, and there's no spreadsheet here where they were keeping track of that I've seen so far. So, I mean, you're gonna have to know that going forward, so you might as well figure out what all happened in the past if you can. But there might be a point where we just say, you know what, we just cannot make ends meet. You know, we just can't figure out, they don't tie, they don't match. I mean, it might come to that. It might come to the point where it's like you're just spinning your wheels and not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
And you might just have to say, I'm sorry, but we've tried, and this is what we've come up with, and now moving forward, this is what we're gonna do. I mean,
And I don't know if this applies, but, you know, maybe some of this money was thrown into the wrong account. You know, and maybe it's really there, but we just don't know it.
No, that's fine to cover some of that, but at this point, if we're paying more out than we're bringing in, how do we correct that issue?
Well, that's what we're working on, trying to get it corrected, but,
You know,
and then, well, then, yeah, and if it ends up that way, then I guess we get people that know more about this, you know, to tell us what we need to do.
so do you want me to start researching about refinance or redoing our bonds, like going back and seeing if we can get better interest rates so our bonds, you know, our payments are lower? Is that something you want me to look into, or are you gonna just start moving forward with adding money to the special assessment deficiency fund to start covering what the negative that we're in? You know, I need to know kind of what you want me to do.
Right.
I mean, I guess in my opinion, if the properties were assessed incorrectly, that should be fixed and remedied.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it costs, you know, an extra, whatever, $500 per property to correct this,
Well, okay,
we're
but,
paying for it either way.
but then we have to go through this process to find out why. To know, you know, yeah. And I don't know what legally you can do and what legally you can't do, you know, at this point. You know, can you go back and reassess that stuff? I have no idea. And then, man, what a nightmare. Oh my God, you know.
But are we going to be able to come up with enough money in the deficiency fund over the next 10 years to pay for it?
Well, that's what we need to figure out. But like I said, I think we need to find out where we're at, and I think we need to discuss it with Randy, you know, do we need to get another person in here and, you know, just work on nothing but that. And if we do, we gotta figure out who we're gonna get in here, you know. Obviously, we want somebody that has experience with this kind of stuff, not, you know, if possible, so,
Because Rainey's time is, you know, she's busy.
I know.
And it's one of those, do we want to do like the paint deal and just let this go forever?
Of course not,
That's
but we didn't
why.
know about it.
Yeah,
See,
right,
We're trying to
and-
fix it, so, yeah.
But to go back to Rainey's question, I think it would be a good idea to let her look into redoing the bonds if we can get it, you know, lower interest rates. I mean, I think that's responsible to the taxpayers too, you know.
Well, we have refinanced bonds before for a lower interest rate. You know, it's, a lot of times, the bond people will come up and tell us that, hey, you know, if you refinance, we can save you X amount of dollars. You know, and a lot of times, they come and tell us about it, so, but it wouldn't hurt to ask. Okay.
There's potential there too, Larry, because I think the SRF, I don't know what it was in 2012, but the SRF percent right now is 2%, I believe. I don't know what it was in 2012 or 13, for sure.
Yeah, and I know we have, you know, over the years, we have done a few, you know, that we have redone, so, yeah. We'd have to go back and check when that was. It's been a little while, I think. But, yeah. Next page. Highway distribution. So really, we take in X number of dollars on this. So is this a guesstimate revenue, Rainey, then, or is this need to go by something, or?
Yeah, so remember I said they have this document that I got with the
Okay.
state funding?
Okay,
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
one of them.
Okay, so, and this one here, I think the highway distribution, you can only spend it on certain things. You can't, you can't put it in the general fund, you can't do this, it's for the street stuff, you can use it for employees and stuff like that, but it has to go for, like street stuff, so.
So their estimate is slightly more than 2018.
About another $5,000. So there's like, professional fees, street improvement design. We have 40,000 this year, we have 40,000 next year.
I didn't know, I kept it the same because if you're doing another street project,
Right.
that's kind of an Eric question, would you do all that design in 19 for 20, or would there be some design cost in 20?
There could potentially be some in 20, it just depends on how quickly things would move along,
Quite honestly, I'm thinking that, the time we get, stuff figured out and, people want to go with it, it's probably not gonna go till, maybe it'd be going 20, I don't know, but I would almost think 21, design in 20, I don't know.
and you really,
We've got so much stuff going on right now.
we probably could even design and construct in 20.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, especially if it's a simple project where
Right.
there's not much utilities, like the one, the Senate,
Right, there wouldn't be
area.
much utilities, right,
There's utilities, that's gonna go really quick.
yeah.
The only thing, you probably wanna look at a geotech report, I guess from what I was told, there wasn't much road base underneath the asphalt in that area. So we probably still wanna look at doing a geotech, at least a couple bores,
I would think that would be one thing, yeah.
But that could be done in the winter too, so.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know, I look at the figures here and I think, we're probably pretty close on most of that stuff. So the sander, that's not, oh, it's just machine, oh, that's just, okay, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, I just added standards to that line, that 118, and I inserted line 19, that pull behind air compressor, because that's really bad. That's
Pretty bad, but really old.
okay.
Yeah, so, but it works, right? Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's put those two there, no dollars, so you just decide if you want dollars there.
Did we come up with our standard, have he gone back? Okay.
Because they come back to me, and I made a couple attempts to go down and look at the one they proposed, but you guys are around, or had been around, so I can't, but. So,
Well, you have to give me that information, I'll see if I
yeah,
can get
the
it.
dollar amount was, which I'm kind of skeptical on, was $6,000 or something, so
Okay.
it makes me a little leery that,
Yeah.
you get what you pay for. That's why I wanna see it.
We got special assessment deficiency, okay, that's where,
There.
so we have 164,000 in their name.
Larry,
What?
we better figure out if we're gonna do something with standard. Their line is blank yet. Well, do something this year, it doesn't matter.
Right.
I'm like,
That's, yeah.
I'm gonna do it this year.
If you want to do something with that air compressor, you need to add in.
I think we need to wait.
Is there any other piece of equipment that we should be looking at?
So further down in just that equipment fund, and I need to do some more research. A few pages down, you get fund 7 in. I added all the add-on risk assessment sheet, all of the pieces of equipment there. So your question might
Is down there,
might be down there.
Okay.
Okay, so, the little thing here says, 164,000, but if you look at this, it's, we have 173,711 in that fund right now. So that would help. Okay, so we have that much we can take off, right? So we had put in 10,000, which I think we need to start getting some more money in there. But how much do we go? I mean,
Well, let's put a bigger number in that we can work backwards from.
yeah,
So you wanna put another 20 in there?
like how about,
Well, you put a number in
how
there.
about 200? Because we're looking at $500,000 in the hole here. So, as of May 31st, according, to the book that says, we're $528,000 in the hole. And it's probably gonna be another 200,000 next year, right?
Yeah, if you look at,
If-
when we get to that 500.
To the projections. So, and 20,000 is gonna be nothing, you know what I mean? It's gonna have to be like 200.
Yeah, well, we gotta get the numbers figured out.
Well, that's just
But,
it, that's just it.
exactly, we can put 400,000 and make it look good, but.
Well, that would look bad to the taxpayer, though.
Right, exactly.
I would say for now, let's put in 200,000.
200? Huh?
Yes, we can always lower it.
Am I hearing you right?
We'll just put it in there for now.
Same?
Colin, we're gonna be 800,000 in the hole here. So we get, we can always lower it. This is just,
That's fine, you can lower it, but
put it in
you
there,
have to lower it by
put it in there.
3-4 decibels.
I
My
don't
number
like
looks
it,
better
I don't
all the
like
time.
it either, but it's gonna have to be dealt with. I mean, we can not deal with it and then deal even more next year, you know.
Don't scare him like that, Larry.
I know. And like I said, it's just a number. This top point is just a number, you know?
That we can cut.
Yeah, and believe me, it might go way down. Snow emergency, I think we're only allowed to have so much in there, aren't we? Okay, you can do 2.5 mils on 2/6. Okay, fund size not to exceed $5 per capita. Or the amount produced by 5 mils. What's our capita? How many people?
I'm guessing like 1,100 maybe?
1,100 times $5 is,
That's it.
More than 1,100.
No, there's more in that deal than that already.
I know, so we can't levy any more of that, so. Yeah, we have way more in than we're allowed to have, so,
Unless we transfer that to the general fund.
yeah. It's its own fund though, because it has its own mill. See,
Okay.
so. Okay, water treatment plant project fund. So we had no revenue, we had expenses of $140 in interest, no, that's revenue. So there was no expenses,
There's no expenditure, general ledger accounts, no.
yeah. Then we have the, MMDA, which is, surge and project deposits. Well, these are revenues, right? Yeah.
So you gotta remember, we're taking those surge monies out now for.
Yep. So basically, this is just kinda interest then. Okay. Sales and use kinda does its own thing. Lodging tax kinda does its own thing, right? Hey, the water treatment plant upgrade account, now that, I don't know why there's so much money in there.
Didn't we talk about
The liners, membranes or whatever.
membranes?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cause those are 20 months out that we have to order them early. Colin, did you ever come up with another price?
I have never been able to get a hold of
Okay.
anybody.
Okay.
I've tried, but nobody returns emails, returns phone calls.
Do you think you're going to do those? We should just put something in there then, because you're not gonna get it done now this year, where we've got the money sitting there. You're gonna end up, that balance of that account will increase again.
So how much do we wanna put in there for membranes then?
Well, you have to remember, you're gonna get you're getting revenues in.
We've got the money there for membranes.
Okay, that's, but that's the upgrade account? Upgrade fund, and that's different than the water fund, right? What is the difference between these? So,
Well, I'm thinking that 304 was like, you can see that there's not been any expenditures, so either the expenditures happened way back when you were doing some kind of project,
Right.
or it was just plopped into here as a placeholder to park that money.
maybe, yeah, I guess it'd be nice to know where that money came from. Cause you know, there's like the water fund has $375,000 in it,
Is that a special assessment?
you know, under here, the water fund, there's a water fund and a sewer fund, okay? And those are here,
So those are your enterprise funds.
and this is the water treatment upgrade account, and it has, that's different. That has $459,000 in it. So that money's been sitting in there a while, because
Could that
the way it
have
Well,
looks.
that's what I'm saying, though, could it have been from, because we did water, sewer, street? Could somehow some of that money been put into the wrong account, and this is our special
Exactly, and
Yeah.
that's
fund?
one of, you know, and I had mentioned that earlier, you know, it maybe got put in another account. You know,
So
which
that's
would
about-
make
That
sense.
would be about what we needed, isn't it?
Be enough there, yeah. You know, I mean, very possible. It's very possible, but that's why we need to get it figured out, so, you know. But I think in the membrane, they're probably gonna come out of the water fund.
Is that out of here?
Yeah, so you're looking at a different spreadsheet.
I know, it's different, I know, this is different, the water fund and the water treatment upgrade fund are two different funds.
Which water?
So one, we got in there yet.
Got it. But, see, I think it's confusing. You know, and then we also have the project fund, which is next, and that has $545 as of May. These are not the right figures. So, and maybe some of our special assessments went in there. you know, because where do you get the project fund money? I mean, if you have a project fund, you would think money comes in, money goes out. You know, I mean, I can see having some money in there, but not $500,000, you know. So it's very possible that that might be special assessment. Maybe, I'm just saying maybe.
Yeah, that's why we gotta find out.
We need to cross fingers.
Well, yeah. So.
So Colin, look at that fiscal one. Looks like those numbers are over there.
I think that's where it was, that'll be a.
There's a note off to the right, 88,000 memory, 20,000 other.
Where?
So the ones that are 61, so they're into pocket, into 601.
Yep. 601.
So it'd be line 32.
Oh, there it is, yep.
Okay. All right. Then you have like the intake project fund, which, you know, has 0 in it. Well, was that from before the intake project fund, when we did the intake last time, or?
Nope, this is the new fund that we created
Okay.
now, so this is where everything will be.
Okay,
So we need to move the surge funds over here
okay,
and get those dollars, you know, you don't see any budgeted because these are all new, and
Right.
I don't see any actuals yet because I don't have
okay.
June stuff in there yet, so
Mhm.
that's why that's all zeros. And then you'll see 427 for the Main Street project as well.
Okay. Okay. So there's Park District Fund, you know, why that money's in there, I don't know. We need to figure that out. That's, maybe does that go to them? I mean, why is it in there? I don't know why it's in there. But that's just more stuff that needs to be cleaned up, you know, because they do their own thing, you know, so. Was it revenue sharing that was not given to them? I don't know, possible, but once again, you gotta find out. Library fund, once again, there's money in there.
On the library one, there was something from the state, and it had to pass through the city,
So we
is what
just
they
did
told me.
that. So we
Right.
just did that, and that was like, I want to say $3,000 or $2,500, I think.
Something like
So
that.
that we just did, it had to come to the city, we had to deposit it and then turn around and
Yeah.
cut a check to
Yeah.
them.
Airport fund is the same, except that's a negative balance. And you get special assessment assistance, that gets approved by the sales and use, right? Isn't that what that came out of? Yeah.
But we
Um,
supplement it, I think, didn't we?
Well, we have money in there. Yeah, right. Yeah, we have to ask for it. Yeah. And there's money left in there. yeah, there's like, 10 grand left in there. Sidewalk fund, that's negative balance, that's, it's gotta be just a, accounting error. That shouldn't be a negative balance there. Storefront fund, that's also from sales and use.
Okay, the sidewalk fund, that 149, why does that say 73,000 as a balance in there?
It's minus 73,000 in
That's
the
a-
hole.
Okay,
Like I said, I
Then
think
we're
that's an
thinking
accounting.
We're hoping that that's just money's got put in the wrong places and,
Right.
why. We've got some big positives in some places and big negatives in others. We're just hoping that it's just a matter of transfer, but we have to figure it out first.
Okay, then there's the equipment fund, let's see, did we have something, okay, we got no revenue there. Don't have any expense there, right? Equipment. So, this fire department fund, is that, we have a budget in there of expense of $72.50. Is that right?
That's what I put in there just because that's what she had in 18. We took it out last year. for
Right, we took it out
19.
last year because we were, we have to cut, so. And I hate to do it, but I'm thinking that might be a cut in. What does everybody else think?
oh, we can cut it later, but he
Cut
gave,
later.
he gave us the budget of before in the other one, right?
22.6, yeah.
Right.
We're giving them that.
Right, so we can leave it that way, we have something to cut if we need to.
So leave it there for now, question mark by it. Okay.
Going back to that equipment fund, are you wanting to put anything in as a replacement for any of those pieces or leaving them as zeros?
Well,
Because wouldn't that be where the that air compressor would go in?
Well, that 88 Dodge flatbed, that's the one that's
Sales,
slated for the auction, right?
right,
It's a new flatbed,
it's what?
new flatbed.
what does it cost?
No, it's just listed here, line 189.
New flatbed, I don't know.
So Adam just has it listed as new flatbed.
Is he talking about the Chevy? The-
No,
the
that's
Sander?
listed here as a
1981?
2004 Chevy 2-ton C4500. He's got it listed as a sewer truck, but we had that discussion this morning,
That's
that's
the,
international.
oh, that's an international,
Yeah.
That's the one I wrote on your sheet,
yeah.
Noel. Look at that handwriting on that one. Okay.
Supposed to be there.
I wrote it somewhere.
You don't have the international listed.
No, it's just the dump truck.
No, that's the brown one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not listed there. I'd have to go through those, and check them out again, see what the flatbed is, I don't know what that would be.
Unless he was thinking the Chevy was a new flatbed and sewer truck was
Oh, yeah,
That's what it had to have been,
good
Sure, that's what it
flatbed or
yeah,
flatbed that I know of.
yeah.
So what should that say?
is it 88 Dodge
The new-
flatbed, or is that the 88 International flatbed?
New flatbed, I would say that's the 2004 Chevy 2-ton.
Yes.
4500.
Yeah.
And then the
So
sewer,
that's same as like line number 176 then, is what you're
Yes.
saying. So I should just take that full line out.
yep, and then the sewer truck would actually be the 1980
almost,
That's 81.
that's an 81. I think it's supposed to be an 88 international flatbed. Cause that would be the sewer truck. Yeah. Pretty sure.
Could be,
And then the, new flatbed would be the, would that be the one that we bought in Lisbon there? Yeah,
Like East of Town or wherever.
right, right. And that's the, what year, I don't know what that is. That's just the, basically good for
Chevy?
tarring and stuff like that.
Yeah.
04.
So that's 176, isn't
Yeah.
it? 2004, 2-ton,
176.
4,500.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's right, that's what that is, and then the sewer truck, the 88, yeah, you're right, yeah, good. So that would be sewer truck. Yeah, not sewer truck. Probably want to recheck those though, but, yeah. Okay.
So to answer the question, you're saying no, don't put any dollars in for replacement of any of those.
Well, I'm really thinking we could probably use a new pickup one of these days, but,
And if we hire another full-time, do you have another pickup for the full-time? Okay.
But that,
I think we're gonna have to wait.
was that the Ford? Is that what's on here?
Ford machine Chevy.
Or is it,
I don't see a Ford on
green
here.
Ford?
There's
Ford
186.
F-150.
Oh, there it is.
One-
Green Ford F-150.
Now, is our grader under contract too?
No.
Is the loader
No, we own
separate?
that. We own that.
So we're not planning on doing any upgrades to any of those, okay? Just,
No.
Do we have any funding set aside for major repairs on equipment?
Well, that would be under repair maintenance, you know, wherever that is. That could either be under the highway or under the, let's see, you've got highways and streets, you've got, repair and maintenance services for highways and streets, that's probably different, that's for streets,
we were looking at 135, highway and streets, repair, maintenance. Is that the one you were looking at?
where you at?
Page
135, highways, highways and streets.
That would be repair for the street, so.
Yeah, that's repair of
Okay.
the streets, yeah, no.
Okay, but the machinery equipment down below that, 138? Is that where we would be looking at for putting that in?
Yeah,
I
maybe.
mean, there's gotta be, I'm confused, but there's gotta be funds set up to where we can keep banking stuff here. You know, you throw
Right.
whatever $5,000 a year into the equipment fund, and it just builds and builds and builds until you got
Enough
$500,000 there to buy a new motor grader. Right now, if that goes down, we got
Well,
nothing.
well, generally what happens is, like in the general fund, you know, in the general fund, this is a budget. If you don't spend it, it just goes into the general fund.
But in the general fund, it gets squandered.
Well,
It needs to get put into specific,
I agree with you,
Allocations.
but, you
it'd
know,
be
the
like,
legislature in their brilliance, you know, took like 5 or 6 funds that had separate, and they put them all into the general
but
fund.
the legislature doesn't know their head from, you know
Well,
what.
I'm just saying.
well, it's like the fire truck, when they banked for a savings for the fire truck, can we do that?
Yes, we have done that.
Where we could put a number in, like Colin said.
Yes, and that was I believe it was under the fire truck fund.
Right, but can we do that with, like, for grader or Unimog, where we can start putting a couple thousand away a year for 10 years?
Well, we can do whatever we want, yeah.
Yeah,
We
it's
can
just,
move all of these over to general fund if that's where you want to start banking it, but we need to start listing it to keep it separate.
But if it's in the general fund, how do you track that?
Yeah.
actually could set up a separate general ledger, just like, you know, if we can't use 710, like, we have to first see if we can use 710, that fund number. If we can't, we can do something else in general fund. Well, I mean, we need to research where we can do that, but there must be a place that we can do that. Start setting aside funding.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's gotta be for each piece of equipment, but just, you know, whether it be 5,000 a year or something, just to throw in there, kinda like, you know, streets and then all this other stuff. It's just, you know, as money gets spent, and then when we get street projects, there's no money there. Same with equipment, you know, if the grader goes down or the Unimog goes down, we gotta replace it. Now we
Right.
got nothing.
This is, really, this is just a budget, it's not, you
No.
know what I'm saying? It's
But-
just a guideline,
but
go
he
by.
is-
If we want to set, like, X number of dollars away into a certain fund, we need to say that, and that's where it goes, and it stays there, you know?
We just-
Otherwise, it goes to the general fund, you know? But,
If we put it in 710, then off to the right, just like all the rest of them, you know, once we get updated numbers, we can put in the balance to show you that, okay, now we've got $10,000 in this fund.
right,
Next year, okay, now we got 15, whatever that is,
right.
you can see that build off to the right.
Sure.
And then it's just for that use only, you can't use it for, you know, whatever else, unless, of course, you
Right.
would.
But I think that's,
Decide that.
I think that's important to have this set up specific for each thing, that way,
I think it'd be nice.
in 6 years, when we're gone, somebody
it'd be
else,
nice.
then, you know, people can look at that and say, okay, we've got X amount of dollars
Right,
right home for this piece of equipment
Right.
or whatever.
right. Well, I think that's a very good idea.
You know, just to,
Yeah.
So if we can, on the 710, can we put a number in there? Like you had 20,000 before, if we could just throw a number in there for right now till we decide where it can go, you know, so we have it in a budget.
20,000 was what, 17, 18? Oh, budget for 18, spent nothing,
Right.
okay?
But if we could start banking that, or put that in that fund,
So we have an equipment fund, yeah,
yeah,
so,
anything that we got
even if
listed
we
there,
threw 10,000 at it,
Right.
you're not gonna build Rome in a
Just-
day, let's start just.
some number, because there's nothing in there now.
so I'm really wondering why, if there is an equipment fund, that would go back to the general fund also, if it doesn't get used.
Well, from what I understand, is there are certain things that you can't move around.
Right.
If this is one of them, which we need to find out.
Right, okay,
If it is, then you can, at the end of the year, decide to move things to the general fund or decide to
Oh,
leave them
okay.
in the fund that they're in.
Yeah.
And so you guys have not done anything, so I guess I was assuming that you've never moved things from these funds back to the general fund. Doesn't look like you have when I was reading back through the minutes.
well, I was under the understanding that it just thought, you know, whatever funds can go back to the general fund, go back to the general fund, that's the way I've always understood it. You know, I mean, obviously, certain things you can't, the enterprise fund, you can't do that, you know, but, yeah.
Is there any areas where you can set up to where it cannot be moved to the general?
Yeah, there are some of these funds, like what he's been reading you, is there are certain funds that you, by century code, have to follow to do certain things.
Right. Well, what I'm
So,
trying to get at is, so if we set up funding for, say, equipment, that 4 years, 6 years later, the next commission doesn't say, well, we got $500,000 in the equipment project, let's take it out of here. No, that's slated for equipment, it needs to stay there.
I think that would be an excellent idea, and I think, yeah, I think that's what we need to do. At the end of the year, we just say, okay,
Robbing Peter to pay
this is
Paul,
going
and
and stay
it's-
into that fund, you know,
Right.
yeah, exactly, I think that's, otherwise, how are you gonna build up that money? You're not.
Right.
Yeah, then you can add to it or, you know, not add to it, whatever.
Right.
But can we put a number in there for right now and then let Rainey research it, see if that's
Yeah, what do you
where
want
to
to
put it?
What do you want to put in there?
20, because we had 20 in there once before.
Okay, put 20 in.
And for now,
And it's not gonna be under any specific thing, just in the
right,
fund.
Yep.
Yeah,
on the
Years, right.
equipment fund.
right, yeah, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, and maybe that 20,000 that was budgeted in 18 should have stayed in there, I don't know.
Yeah, where did that go?
I don't know.
You know,
I'm assuming the general, but I don't know.
yeah, did that get moved to a different place that we don't know?
Well, who knows?
We'll find out.
But that's just it, that's why we have such a mess, because we
Mhm.
don't know where everything went, so.
Right. Yeah, I agree with it. We need to fix our mess.
It's gone, that's it, it's gone. Okay, let's move on, it's getting late. What time is it?
9.
Ugh.
5.
Okay, we're just gonna, if it's okay with everybody, I'm ready to quit for the night. The rest of this, review it, unless there's something you really need to go through, Amy.
I was just wanting to get us through as much as we could to damn us.
But I think everybody needs to do these debt service funds, you know, look them through and say, hey, this is why we're in trouble, you know, so. And granted, this will,
So that you know, I think I told Larry, not the rest of the revenue, are the numbers that I got from the county. The expenditures under those 500 are what comes off of amortization scales of what's due to those bonds. So those are not a guesstimate, those are pretty much what they are.
Which one?
Under the 500, under the debt service that he was talking about. So Kayla O'Brien gave me the numbers for the revenue, and then I looked at the amortization schedule of the expenditures for each of those levels. And at the bottom, you can see right below. I'm gonna see 20. The 120 or so. That's what we're gonna be.
you're talking, yeah, page 5 of 5 here on, and that 220, that's just for 2020, right? Yeah. See, and that's where I said that 200,000 for efficiency, because, I mean, and that doesn't count the years, other years, so. I think we really need to probably hire some people, someone, don't you, Rainey, and just work on that.
Yeah, either have someone come in so I can do it, or hire someone
Right.
to come in to do it.
So,
If you're wanting to know an answer fairly soon, yeah.
which I think we need to, so, why don't we research who we possibly get, or why we want to do this, and then maybe after this meeting, we can make a decision on what we want to do, if we want to do something, or.
Maybe contact them and find out if they got a estimate for doing it,
Right. Yeah,
or, you know, so we can,
because really, we're just going for the whole.
So each one of these, is that like a specific project?
Yes.
So if you look at, pick just one of those pages.
Yep.
So what page are you on?
Page 1 of 5.
1 of 5? Okay.
okay.
So line number 2, do you see how it says root addition 02 or
Yep.
072? That is the special number according to the county level. Then I went out and I found the amortization schedule. That's a 15-year amortization schedule. The last payment on that is in 2022. So those bold lines are explaining what that special is. The general ledger account then is what's listed underneath. So the revenue side is that 506,3110. The property taxes that are coming in are assessed into that special, comes in on that line. And then the expenditures are the amortization schedule. So when I pay to the bank, that line is principal, that next line is interest, and the next line is service charges. So,
So at the end of the year, we're negative $985.
correct.
So that's what I'm looking at the common denominator, and everything, just about every one of these is negative.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
who in the hell set all these up? Is it the county? Is it,
No.
somebody had to have input all this information or figured it out.
Or did they use the wrong amortization chart?
Something that's given to us, I believe.
The SRF amortization
Yeah.
schedule, it should be when the bonding's set up, that should be set.
And that should be set all the way through that project, right?
It's
For the
set up
15 years.
Set up for the funding of whether it was a sewer SRF loan, or a clean water SRF loan, or a drinking water SRF loan. That's how it's set up.
Well, and
But
then
they
we,
wouldn't break it down by like addition or anything, I don't think they would they? I mean,
Well, that's what I'm saying, if.
I think they would've broke it down for, it was a 2014 project sewer portion. So,
and then
here's
we,
what the city will owe for this
yeah,
over a 15-year period. And then, however the, special assessment was set up, that would have to cover that, each one of those payments for each one of those years. Is what I would, I mean, I'm not an expert in it, but that's what I would.
and then at the bottom of those amortization schedules, there's listed each of these account numbers and what percentage, so like 5% sewer, 10%, whatever, it is broken down by these special numbers and by these names. And so that amortization schedule has got handwritten at the bottom, these different account numbers and what percentage goes to each of those, so that when those payments are made, that's how the payments are expensed out.
So,
Because the one that really is, on page 3 of 5, the 2013 payment deal, that's $74,000 or $72,000 off. That's what's killing us.
well, they all, I mean,
Well, right, they all add up, but I mean, that's a huge amount to be off.
That's what I'm saying, like, okay, who figured out,
Right.
divvied up the specials per property, you know, obviously somebody's underestimating.
Some numbers had to have been wrong somewhere.
I mean, it'd be nice to get to the point, but bottom line is, if it's a special assessment committee, I think we need to look at getting different special assessment committee. If they can't figure out how to break these assessments up, to at least go in the flat.
Special assessment committee does not do the actual figures, they decide what gets paid out to where, and then somebody in the office, I don't know if it's here, or if they have somebody else do it, I don't know, but somebody then takes everybody's parcel, whether it goes by square footage or frontage, or however it goes, then they figure that out. You know, per parcel, the special assessment committee doesn't do that.
Okay.
You
But
know,
if-
they figure out how it gets divided, but they don't do the actual.
Well, then, how, I guess my bigger question is, how is all this factored in to where, when you get charged special assessments, what goes on your property? Or Mike's property, how is it divvied up? Who determines that?
Well, that's just it, you know, it goes by your property, and I don't know if it's done here, or if they have somebody else do it, I don't know.
So there's that software in
That
Banyan, where
software,
that
yeah.
property management software, where you can see where it's got all the parcels in there, and they've got their dollar amount, and then it's, you know, they create amortization sheets for each parcel, and those parcels, those sheets then are given in a binder up to the county and assessed to those pieces of property.
So somebody could have entered the wrong numbers in that software.
It's possible, but that's what we need to find out.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Very possible.
And we need to be sooner than later because we're just going in debt.
And that's what I think we need to, like I said, Rainey, you need to do some checking if you can find somebody. We need to make a decision at the next meeting what we're gonna do. Because it's not getting any better. So I think we had a good start on this. Rainey, if you're fine at shutting it off here, everybody else is fine?
I think it would help, you know, once you do the, June month end, where we can at least get
Right.
expenditures through June in there to see, okay, we're halfway through the year, are we ahead or behind of where we were last year?
Yeah, if we could get all those figures and
Yep.
changes here
Right.
and print it out, you know, hopefully before too long, and then,
Well, I'm planning to have them by the next meeting on the 8th, if possible.
yeah.
I'm gone the 4th and the 5th, so,
I know,
you know, and it depends on if the bank, you know, it just depends,
Right.
but I'm hoping to have it all together on the 8th.
Okay, bills, everybody review the bills?
Make a motion to pay the bills?
I'll second that.
Any questions on the bills? Colin?
Aye.
Woody?
Aye.
No?
Aye.
Yes. Okay, Next meeting, July 8th, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone. It's been grueling.
Just hang in there.
Always grueling.
The question of.
Turk, I got something for you.
For the main
Oh, yeah?
street project,
Yeah,
for them to be able to have them all out there.
did you talk to them?
I did not talk to any of
You better.
Adam's not on there,
No.
but
Contract.
that was my ace card, but I forgot he's not on the board anymore. So who's the contact?
That's Brady.
Okay, so the park board? Because we want to be able to, and this is something that Jasper and Larry talks about, but for that main avenue project, we want to be able to have trucks go from right at the